Episode 2 Nightbread Podcast. I'm John.
Gerald.
I came in a little hot and I don't have the energy to keep that going.
That's too fucking bad. You started it. So we saw Mortal Kombat.
We did. How was it?
I thought certain things were really cool. And then there was other things I didn't like. Certain dialogue I thought was ass. It was dog shit.
I want to hear your overall rating. Give me an out of 10.
I would give it a 5, but only because certain characters were really well done. And the story was sort of interesting in the beginning and the end. Not so much the middle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the good, important part of the story. So, like, 30 minutes in the beginning and about, 20 minutes at the end were the only good parts to me.
It really was like, come on. And then, the
whole
middle
movie,
part of the movie was just like, meh.
The whole middle felt like it should have been condensed into, just the, not in the beginning, but after the beginning, the whole Hanzo shit.
One of the most annoying part of it for me was dialogue. Dialogue was
there was
cheesy.
a lot of dialogue that could have been so much fucking better.
It was so bad. And the acting, too, the Cole Young, and the...
Certain parts that he did really well, and then he would completely ruin it.
That's my problem
with something else.
He wasn't the only actor that did it, but my problem with I'm not gonna try to spoil anything, but the scene where he communicates with Jax, and he just says something like, "Oh, we could beat him together," but it's a moment where it feels like this man doesn't even. There's a ninja with ice
that just fucked up your family.
Yeah, and you're just yeah, let's take him out together.
It's a fucking zero.
Yeah. The acting was just bad. The dialogue was bad.
The best parts of the movie, though, hands down, were Scorpion, Sub-Zero.
It was people who weren't even in the movie.
It was main focus.
Yeah.
Well, except for Kano. I thought Kano was amazing.
Kano did.
He really helped.
The guy who voiced Jeremy Lawson, I believe, is his name.
I didn't look at most of them.
If I remember it correctly, I think it's Jeremy Lawson.
He literally was the saving grace of the whole middle section, because for most of it, I just did not. I was having a hard time.
He was the bad guy.
And he was the bad guy. Scorpion and Sub-Zero were amazing.
The bad guy stole the show.
Yeah. I thought Scorpion and Sub-Zero were just the best portrayed for the most part.
The guy that
Joe Taslim
for Sub-Zero.
He was amazing. I thought he did really cool.
He was a good Sub-Zero.
Hiroyuki Sanada as Scorpion was a fucking amazing.
He's a great actor.
And at 60 years old, and he was doing all his own shit. That's badass. He's the one I told you I loved in The Last Samurai. He was just badass.
He was the guy that kicked his ass with the training, I think.
Yeah. The dude, I don't remember. I didn't even look at who was playing Cabal, but he was spot on.
I didn't see Cabal either, but that costume was really good.
And it was literally ripped from the game, but it looked good and realistic for the most part. And or not realistic.
I think his costume was probably my favorite amongst all the fighters.
I think he was one of my favorites that almost, in a sort of way, stole the show because he acted like Cabal.
That was Cabal.
They just took him from the game and made him awesome.
Yeah.
In film form.
I didn't care for Melina.
Not
because of how they cast her, how she is, but I feel like she just offered. She was just there for roster.
She said, and she said one line, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
I don't know if you noticed, but the detail or the CG right here in the cheeks.
Yeah.
It got really bad when she opened her mouth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and it tore away the fake stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was confused at her casting because Katana's always been Asian, and she's a clone of Katana. So it's not a problem for me personally, but that just means we probably should get I believe she was black, right?
Mm.
A black Katana, which is not a big deal for me, just as long as it's consistent. But I know I did hear that some people were pretty upset about that or angry about it.
I heard some nasty comments about that.
Well, I've heard there were some people who were more reasonable about it, and it was due to why can't you're making all of these characters who are Asian, but you changed Katana. Or, it's Melina, but Melina is a clone of Katana. So
honestly, I just felt like they just had too many, they had too many of one.
Natara is another really popular character, and she literally didn't say anything, and she just was killed by Kung Lao.
You're spoiling it.
Oh, I am. Well, you know what? We'll put a
We'll put a spoiler in the beginning. Yeah.
if you don't care.
I didn't.
Jax
I'll tell you what though. Liu Kang and Kung Lao, like their essence, like they had that.
No, that was really
that
good.
was them.
Yeah,
but I think Kung Lao was like just appearance only going off of appearance wasn't too great.
They literally went 1-to-1 with his costume, but I felt like that was a little weird because as much as I loved the costumes, they were sort of all over the place.
Yeah.
Because some costumes like Cabal were literally ripped straight from the game, and it sort of worked, and I think it was cool. But then I feel like Kung Lao outfit was again ripped straight from the game.
But it was kind of tacky, I think.
Yeah, and it didn't look weird, but it was cool because it had the red dragon on his shirt like he does in the game.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Liu Kang's outfit I didn't like. I didn't feel like a Liu Kang outfit.
I didn't like it until he had like just the red sash.
When he had
no shirt.
Yeah. I honestly thought he was kind of small for Liu Kang. Because, Liu Kang is lean, and he's not, like, muscular, huge. But he just felt small to be Liu Kang.
Yeah.
It wasn't until he took his shirt off that I was like, okay, this is Liu Kang, because he looks lean and like he's been training and meditating and is like a badass.
Sonya Blade could have been a
I would have.
We could have done a little better.
Yeah, she could have been. Which certain things were hit or miss with her, but for most of it, I would have recast her probably.
Mm-hmm. I like Jax.
Jax was pretty
okay.
good.
He wasn't anything crazy.
He could have been better, but I liked him. The actor they chose.
But I mean, solid. He's solid.
It was just his dialogue that was dog shit.
I thought Goro looked a little nasty.
The CG for Goro could have been better. I'm assuming they didn't use a lot of budget on CG, and they really kind of could have. I noticed that
if they just threw in a little bit more.
So from what I noticed it seemed like they used a lot of the budget for Sub-Zero's effects and Goro.
I think it all went to Sub-Zero and Scorpion.
I don't think so, because Scorpion didn't have any of his Hellfire at all, except for when he breaks out of the ice towards the end of the movie, or at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And his fatality which I thought was badass that they ripped it straight from the game. But other than those two little pieces, he didn't have any Hellfire, any...
Yeah, I guess you're right. So I guess Sub-Zero... I think Sub-Zero and, if anything, Raiden and Shang Tsung's stuff.
I forgot about Raiden and Shang Tsung. But again, even them felt very sparse. Because they only showed Raiden using lightning like 3 times. And it was like stuff that... Like him throwing a lightning bolt that was over in a second. Which I'm assuming saved him a bunch of money than making it look in...
His lightning eyes did look a little off.
Yeah, I honestly, I didn't like that they made Raiden such a dick. Like, to me in the games, he's not really a dick. I mean, he makes bad decisions now and again. But he's not a dick.
You know what was brave that they did? That 15-minute sex scene between Cabal and Jax. That was really brave.
It was tasteful, though.
It was.
I just love Cabal in this movie. It was really good. It even sounded like the voice actor for Mortal Kombat 11.
Right.
Reptile was badass, I thought. I'm in terms of the video game, I'm one of those people that I think Reptile should still be the half ninja Reptile.
Yeah.
Where he's more human.
It was interesting.
But I'm not, like, I don't hate on the completely lizard version of Reptile either. I don't really care for it. Or, like, I don't mind either one. I do prefer the ninja, like human ninja version of Reptile, but I thought it was well done. He was really badass.
I feel like he should have got a little more screen time as a villain. He would have been better as a villain, I think.
As like a stalker.
Yeah.
He seems more appropriate.
He had potential.
Yeah, and to me, he seems more appropriate to like hunt down Earth's champions and shit. And it just seemed cooler to me.
Yeah. Like, I think if they did it to where, like, maybe, like, if he took fucking Jax's arms, just fucking acid spit him, or something like that. I don't know.
I would have honestly would have been cool as Goro being because Goro usually is the reason Jax loses his arms. But then again, Mortal Kombat retcons a lot of stuff now, and with NetherRealm Studios being the way they are,
it's different.
I would have liked it. Would have been cool to me to have Goro be the lingering threat and shit.
Yeah.
Instead of just showing up at the end.
The man literally just...
And I'm not really mad that Cole Young killed him, even though it's usually...
You're spoiling the movie.
Fuck it. It's too late. We already said we were going to put that thing in the thing.
that booby flash with Goro.
Hmm.
That me acting up.
I don't know about Goro wearing a thong throughout the movie, but
Yeah.
no,
No, it's an interesting choice.
I didn't really care for the voice of him because it was to me it sounded like a generic.
It was a little bad, but it's okay.
And not that it was bad; it just sounded generic, like growly monster voice instead of something.
Yeah. But it honestly didn't affect, I didn't matter too much because he didn't really speak too much anyway.
Yeah,
So it was okay. I think that they got away with that one.
I didn't personally care for Shang Tsung.
I didn't really care for him either. Honestly, I feel like if they had switched the role, like the actors for Raiden and Shang Tsung, I think it'd be better.
Honestly, in terms of look, he looked sort of like Shang Tsung. I think would have made it better.
I think he's got the cadence.
If he would have had the mustache and goatee,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah. And there was a part, I don't know if you noticed, there's a part where he says, the line like from
Your soul is mine.
Your soul, but it almost sounded more like Carrie, the original Shang Tsung from 1995.
Carrie something.
I can't remember his last name. It's I know it and it's pissing me off. But yeah, it almost sounded like they took or either had him record that or used a stock sound from when he did that movie.
Yeah.
Because it sounded more like that than it did the acting. Which is badass. I could hear that man say, "Your soul is mine." Like, so he's amazing. Other than that, I think he was all right. I didn't particularly like the. I don't know. I feel like he needed a. That's the only complaint I can think of off the top of my head is that he needed a goatee and a mustache.
Hmm.
But like the Fu Manchu, like he has in the games. I feel like that would have really suited that. Raiden needed long white hair because the buzz cut was really.
Honestly,
weird.
I felt like it would have been better if they started him off old, and when they kill Kung Lao, he
actually would have
gets
been
younger.
That would have been pretty badass.
He should have done it like that. Because like that's what he does.
Well, yeah,
like,
that is what he does. Yeah, but
and I think it would have just been cool to show that in there, but keeping him, I felt like they didn't put any effort in him like that.
yeah, I would have also going back to Raiden. I really would have liked the long white hair. I feel like that would have actually made him look a lot better.
I like the guy who plays Raiden, but I just don't like the interpretation.
Yeah, no, Raiden's not a dick. He makes some messed up choices every now and then, like, or not messed up, but like, sort of like he makes mistakes, but he's not like a dick. And I know they put the whole, thank you for awakening my fighters.
Like it was his plan all along.
But it just felt like he lucked into it, and he was just kind of a dick for no reason.
He kind of just took the credit for the luck, yeah.
But the actor was all right. I just think he needed long white hair, to really just fill it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the outfit was on point, I think.
I think overall, I'd give it personally for me out of 10, it was a 4.5.
I don't know how much money they're gonna make because I know the theaters are still sort of
and slowed down. And not a lot of people going.
And if we're being honest, it came out literally a couple. What Godzilla vs Kong came out 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks, 2-3 weeks, and it's gonna be like how when Godzilla King of the Monsters came out after like 2 fucking Marvel movies, and then Aladdin came out like 3 or 2 weeks after it. And it's that's gonna be like what do you call it? People go and see that instead because that's just super popular.
Poor timing.
Yeah. And I feel like they do. I know they did want to do a sequel. They teased Johnny Cage at the end.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
I really don't. Because from what I've seen, some people either they really fucking loved it, or they really fucking hated it and didn't like it at all. It's sort of a mixed from what I've seen on Twitter and stuff.
I think if you like just like
the fights, I thought were really well.
If you
done,
like fighting, like if you like basically the games, and you're like if you're like the fighting about it, and you like the action, I guess it's okay.
I did think the action was pretty well done.
Yeah,
there were 2 like scenes that I felt were cut weirdly.
Sonya's kick or little
where she goes to stab
fight.
Reptile.
Yeah,
she's literally mid like spin into like,
and then like the cut was like a completely different like
her just stabbing him, but it was very jarring. Like what the fuck?
Like was it real? Did that just happen?
Like they skipped the whole landing and stabbing. Yeah. It cut straight to her like with the blade.
That's like something like B movies do.
Yeah. which I don't know why they did that. And there was another scene that was kind of cut weird with. There was another scene, I just can't think of it. Oh, and so the not Easter eggs, but references to the games I thought were cool.
Some were just
Some were just
cheesy.
really bad.
Like Kung Lao killing Natara, and like he's just like flawless victory. Right
yeah,
now.
that
it
was
like
really
because it was his fatality.
But
And
up until that point,
fatality was amazing.
yeah, up until that point, like him doing
It
the
was
fatality
badass. It
from
was
the
cool.
game was so badass, and
But then he's just like flawless. It's just a
Victory.
cheesy,
and he did
line.
it fucking twice.
Yeah.
Or no, Liu Kang did the
Liu
other
Kang
one.
did like I think it was like right after.
No, Liu Kang. It was when he kills Cabal. Or well, I don't think he
Yeah, it
kills
was right
him.
after. Because Kung Lao dies and then they get revenge.
He goes fatality for Kung Lao, and I was like, you could have just said for Kung Lao, and I would have been fine with it. But the fact that I don't know, stuff like that, I didn't particularly care for.
Yeah.
I thought the one that was worked in sort of really decently was the test your might, where he's like, we'll test your might here in the pit or the arena. I was like, okay, I like that.
I like
Because
that.
it works within whatever.
Even when Kano did the killing blow for Reptile, and he's like Kano wins because it's like it works because it's in his character to be like stupid and cheesy.
Yeah, he's like Kano fucking win. Yeah, I was like, yeah, I don't mind
that works. That was slid in there, kid.
Honestly, I'm so dumb for not noticing, but that's actually Kano's fatality in the original Mortal Kombat. He rips out the heart. I don't know why I'm dumb. I should have realized that.
How do you think Cole Young is going to be in these next games? You think he's going to be added in?
I don't know. Honestly, if we're being honest.
Because I was thinking about that as watching the movie, and I think people might not like it because it's he's nobody. He's just some guy they brought up out of thin air.
It sort of makes
but he does like I think in a video game standpoint, like as a character added to a game, I think he has some potential.
I don't see it.
It's cheese. It'll be a little cheese actually because like his.
Because on one side, yeah, it makes Scorpion's story less tragic, having at least a descendant left.
Yeah.
But how does it work in with his character? And it's just strange. And his character to me, the design wise, when he gets his, whatever
Harakana. I think is what it's called.
Akana or whatever. It just wasn't cool. It's literally
just a bronze chest.
It was like a bronze shirt thing with like a baton and a half sword thing, or like it's like a baton but with a sword at the end instead, or like a short sword or. It just was weird.
And it is like that Black Panther like power where like you absorb the energy and dish it back out.
Yeah.
That would be cheese in a game.
And I don't want to shit on the actor because he did pretty good. And it's just some of the lines and shit they gave him and some of the...
It was all dialogue.
For the most part, it was bad. And he's actually... I've seen some interviews with him. He's really a big fan of Mortal Kombat. Like, he knows the characters and he knows, like even if he's not a fan, he at least did his homework on it, and he's really cool. So I hate to just shit on him, but yeah, honestly, it's not even his fault. It's mostly dialogue.
Yeah.
And editing, because that whole middle part just drags. Because Godzilla vs. Kong is the same length. That's an hour and 45 minutes or 50 minutes.
That's the same length?
The exact same length.
Well, yeah.
And Godzilla
and Kong was great.
Yeah, and it felt normal paced or quick, but not.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat dragged.
It dragged,
hard,
and it's the same length.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, I did like. Okay, so Reptile I thought was badass. Kano was
Reptile, Kano,
Cabal, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. Those were like the best parts of the movies.
Yeah, they were nailed down pretty well.
It just sucks that they're so far in between.
Mid tier is Liu Kang.
I don't want to shit on Liu Kang either because
Jax.
He was cool. Jax was good,
but they're mid tier. Like
they could have been better.
They could have been better, but they were okay.
And then again, how much of it is nostalgia from us? Because I still love the 1995 movie. I think it's a decent movie.
True.
I still think the 1995. I'm not now. It's no Oscar-worthy movie, but it's decent.
It's fun.
Yeah, and at least it's been a minute since I've watched it, but at least to my memory, it didn't have as bad dialogue or that much of
bad dialogue, just bad effects.
Well, yeah, for the time, 1995. What can you do? I will say they did improve on certain things from the original. Like, for one, the fights I think were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Just some of the editing ruined it. I think I was cool that Scorpion and Sub-Zero actually got to do something. Like, they're the most popular characters, and like the original movie didn't use them, but like for one scene each, I think, and like, they die. I don't know. I really would have liked Johnny Cage, but I know what they want. Apparently, if they get a go ahead for a sequel, they want to get a big actor to play Johnny Cage.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know.
The Rock.
Honestly, I think The Rock can pull off narcissistic asshole really well, though.
Yeah. He's done it before, I think. I'm sure. I mean, it was his WWE persona, I think.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The Rock says, know your damn place.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like more people want the character to look like the character.
Yeah.
Which is fine,
one
too.
I could think of, or honestly...
You know what? Chris Pratt, maybe?
Yeah, Chris Pratt could be Johnny Cage.
He's pretty...
I think he's a little too thicker, or like muscular.
I don't think so. I think he's the perfect...
I think he's got too much cake for Johnny Cage.
He ain't got enough cake. I don't know. I know everybody wants to... I saw on Twitter some people wanted to see more ninjas, but I'm like...
Rain,
Smoke. Smoke actually might work, but like Rain or Noob... Well, no, they have to bring back Noob. I think they implied it anyway.
Yeah.
I am concerned, though, because Hiroyuki Sanada, if they do a sequel, is 60 years old. How they're going to do...
Bring him back.
Yeah, Scorpion. Or if they're just not going to bring him back at all.
Yeah. It's going to be Cole Young.
Honestly, I wish they kind of would have replaced Cole Young with... Well, it wouldn't make sense... Takeda. Because he was trained by Scorpion.
Mm.
But they're not blood related.
How would they have brought him back, though? Because he's...
Yeah, they're not blood related. Takeda's... Kenshi's son. I don't know.
Kenshi would have been good in this movie, I think. It would have been cool.
Okay, well, instead of Cole Young's blood being his descendant freeing him from the nether realm, have it be Sub-Zero's blood.
Yeah.
Now you could just change that up, and there you go.
Because it's it's like he fucking found him finally, or something like that.
Yeah, and because Scorpion's always been a revenant, a spirit of vengeance, pretty much. I don't know. It was all right.
Yeah.
It could have been better, I will say. I'm not gonna defend it like hardcore or whatever. It just could have been better dialogue. I don't know. They could have done more treatments. I don't see how some of this dialogue could have gotten past people and been like...
I think they just wanted it to get out.
I guess. Well, I don't know. Warner Brothers, from what I've heard, they've been really shitty to like their directors.
Yeah, I can't follow directors. I don't.
I follow certain directors. Usually, if it's like whoever's directing a film that's coming up that I really want to see, I'll follow them to like get shit. Like how I followed Adam Wingard and Michael Dougherty, who did Godzilla vs. Kong and Godzilla King of the Monsters, because I'm really into that. That's what I wanted to learn about. Like little concept art or whatever.
I'll tell you what, though. Godzilla vs. Kong, that was a good watch.
I enjoyed it. I think they had the perfect balance of human and
not perfect for me, but I think it was there.
Well, no, I'm talking in close. Like in terms of not essence, but in time in general. And there was less cutaways, which I like. Even though I love King of the Monsters, I did have a problem with that in certain parts.
Yeah.
But to me, again, it came back down to certain dialogue choices.
The human stuff this is probably the best one yet for that. I think like they've worked around like the stuff, and like in each movie they've improved on the storytelling for the human side of it. I think they got a lot better.
The human side could have been a lot better for this one to me. Like it definitely was an improvement in certain areas, but I felt like the story for King of the Monsters was more cohesive as a story. I just felt like the dialogue could have been better, and they could have taken out some comic relief jokes.
We didn't really... Well, I don't know, because we haven't seen the full version, like what they really wanted to do to flesh out those people.
Well, that is true. Like, there are characters that seem so important, and they don't do anything, like Ren Serizawa.
Ren Serizawa, Smush? What was his name?
Who?
Not Smush, I'm thinking of a completely different movie. The kid from Deadpool.
Oh, Fire Fist.
Fire Fist.
That's who he was in Deadpool.
Yeah, but I don't know whatever his name is here.
Daniel, I think it's Daniel.
So her little crush, her little boyfriend.
They're just friends.
He likes her.
Probably, I don't know.
And then the guy who was funding the Mechagodzilla.
I remember the character's name, but not the actor.
I like that guy.
Mr. Simius.
He was also in the Nun movie, and that was a bad movie, but like I think he still did a good job acting in that one.
Julian Dennison.
Yeah,
that's his name. I couldn't think of it. He's a good actor. I feel like his role was supposed to be more expanded.
Yeah, that was a problem.
So with Ren and Lance Reddick, he was the Monarch director who took over after Serizawa.
Yeah, I can't put a face on him.
He was in that skit with Eric Andre where he's like, "I'm LeVar fucking Burton," and then they got LeVar Burton to go on Eric Andre's show, and he comes out and he's like, "I'm Lance fucking Reddick."
I can't.
He's a good actor. His role apparently was supposed to be kind of big, and he only shows up towards the end, and he says, "I've started the evacuation." Dr. Russell or whatever.
Yeah.
He was the black dude with the buzz cut. The older guy.
Okay. Yeah.
And he literally only had one scene make it to him, but apparently he was supposed to be a pretty big part of the movie too.
That pretty girl from that.
Eliza Gutierrez, I think.
Yeah, whatever her name is.
She was supposed to have a lot more time too.
In this one, she was just more of that asshole.
Yeah. Well, I feel like she was supposed to be that though. The spoiled rich kid who was like does whatever her dad tells her.
Yeah, I guess.
Adam Wingard did a Reddit AMA, and he said he like this is his like definitive like version of the film, but a lot of people get the vibe that that's not true, because he already let it slip that there was 4 hours of footage he had to cut, and people want to see that. And they want to see a longer, different cut of the film for the people who want the lore, not just because those fucking assholes who are like, I just want nonstop monster fighting, and like no story or no reason, which I think is dumb. But I'm one of the people who was willing to watch more human scenes for the lore and the like stuff about this world, the Hollow Earth and like where.
I honestly would like. I think that people that just want the fighting, like, I feel like if they did something where they explored like stuff like from the past about just the monsters, like maybe if it was like just animated shorts or something. Well,
they are gonna do an anime for Kong, the MonsterVerse Kong. I can't remember what studio's doing it, but it's gonna be a full anime. And I know they're in talks to do a show for Godzilla on HBO Max.
Kind of like how like Brandon or. What's his name? Something Tarkovsky. He did the caveman one.
Oh, he could do a badass.
Like
Godzilla.
I know for a fact.
Everybody wants a monster versus Godzilla, but Michael Dougherty was had the idea to do Godzilla BC, where you see how he was born and through
that would be perfect.
All the way up until
that would be perfect.
Up until Godzilla 2014, and he wanted to call it Godzilla BC, and I would really fucking love that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And that style would work for that a lot, I feel. I didn't really... there's certain things I think you could have done better. But I still loved it. It was an amazing movie. And I was right the whole time, despite what everyone said. I was like, you really think Godzilla's going to lose to a monkey?
Monkey strong. Monkey punch. Monkey kick. Monkey axe.
And then they're like, oh, they shook hands. Like, no, Kong submitted. He threw down his fucking weapon. He submit.
But in the best way possible.
But he didn't bow.
I knew he was going to lose. Like, I was just kind of riding the monkey side just because it was fun.
And then everyone got all butthurt. They're like, no.
We were watching it, and like everyone's like, "Shut up, Joe! Just shut up!" You know that fucking lizard. Like they're treating you like shit.
They really were.
And then like as soon as like they saw that motherfucker go like, and they're all like,
no, nobody said a damn
thing.
Nobody.
But you're just looking at everyone like, motherfuckers.
I was like, man,
that was the best shit.
Y'all real quiet now.
You're like that one like football fan that's like on the opposite side of the stadium just cheering.
No, but the moment you hear that really, I don't know who did the sound design, but the really gross, like you hear the shoulder break or the arm break.
The chest, when he stood on the chest.
That too, like you're like, yeah, no, that's done. You're done. I know people are like, well, he beat Mechagodzilla, so he won. I was like, no, that's
He beat Mecha.
he meant Mechagodzilla
with help.
With help. They both needed
Yeah.
help, and they're like, well, he could have beaten it by. Like, no, that was the whole point of it. The whole conspiracy.
They needed each other.
Yeah, they were gonna kill Godzilla and then kill Kong with Mechagodzilla.
Yeah.
That was it. That was dumb.
They were gonna do 2 birds, 1 stone, basically.
I would have liked more of the creatures to show up.
The other ones.
Yeah. I know they took the end credit scene for King of the original end credit scene for King of the Mothra being born, and the twins were gonna sing
The Mothra.
the Mothra song,
Yeah.
because they have the rights to all of that. But they never did it again. But it's in the concept art for Godzilla vs Kong. They had it ready to go.
It sucks.
That would have been badass. I wanted to hear. Well, do you remember who I told you was the very first person cast for Godzilla vs Kong? The actress, I think her name's Zazie something. She played Dr. Chen, the Mothra twin. She played both of them. She was the very first person cast for Godzilla vs Kong. All cut. Like the whole character is just not mentioned at all. She's just immediately cut. So
Damn.
I was like, well, fuck. I was kind of interested in her. I noticed they tend to like go with characters that I like. When they killed Bryan Cranston I was more interested in Bryan Cranston's character than I was.
They're just missing the mark on who they want to keep.
Or Serizawa. I wanted to see Serizawa
Yeah.
more than I would have any other.
Yeah.
I don't, not that I don't mind Millie Bobby Brown, but her character could definitely be better written.
Improved upon for sure.
Um,
I don't really
I'm
care
more-
for her, to be honest.
yeah, I'm more interested in the dad, really.
Yeah, the dad.
I feel like the story for King of the Monsters.
He's not
would-
supposed to be, but O'Shea Jackson is just a fun
Oh,
character.
Everybody, I wanted him back for King of the Monsters, but they didn't. Versus,
Godzilla Kong, yeah.
but they
Godzilla
didn't.
Kong.
Yeah, I was like, man, I want fucking Sergeant Barnes. I don't want fucking.
Millie Bobby Brown.
Well, not that she's bad. Sergeant Barnes is badass. So is Brian Kent.
Preferences.
Or
Or even the guy from fucking the 2014. Be cool. No?
I'm not a big fan. Well, that and he's doing.
At least put him on like the team or something. That'd be kind of cool just to have him included.
Well, they did include him in King of the Monsters in a way.
Yeah.
The USS Ford Brody. The USS Ford Brody.
Yeah.
Which I'm wondering why he has a ship named after him, but I like the
Because
reference.
he basically saved it.
I like the reference though.
Yeah.
I like that. So, like with each movie, because when they designed the original 2014 design for Godzilla, the updated new modern one, I think he's one of my favorite incarnations. He's up there for me with the Heisei and the 64 Godzilla. Those are my favorite incarnations. And I love because when they were designing him, they said they were inspired by alligators, Komodo dragons, crocodiles, and bears. And with each film, you actually see him use those techniques.
Yeah.
And I just fucking love that. Like in King of the Monsters, he does the whole. And 2014, he stands up real tall like bears, and he does this and pushes things to the ground to get like bears do. And in King of the Monsters, he does the crocodile roll or alligator death roll.
Mm.
And then in the new one, he does an alligator or a Komodo dragon gets all
how he's looking around, searching.
and he's on all fours like a fucking monster, and it's badass. They really made him awesome. Kong was cool. I like the update from because he was I think they said a child in Skull Island or adolescent.
Mm.
So I like the updated look for him. I was kind of curious about the beard though. I don't know why the beard.
I think he's middle aged, or no, not like that. But I think what they
he's
say
in his 70s.
They said it was he's not his prime, right?
Oh yeah, he's not He's not past his prime,
but
he's not in the beginning of it either.
Yeah,
Sort of like a middle
in
aged.
between.
Yeah.
I guess really just perfectly primed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like,
It was a weird comparison when I read it.
Yeah.
And it's even weirder to say.
Yeah, I just not thought about that. It's like that's perfectly in his prime, I guess.
They said it in one of the vignettes on HBO Max when they're promoting it. I don't remember if it was one of those. It's such a weird fucking comparison. I loved the like with each battle, like you felt like the one in the ocean that was completely one fucking sided.
Way one-sided.
And then when they got to land, it was more even.
Mm.
But it's just Godzilla's monstrous and probably outweighs his ass.
Yeah.
But I like that they, instead of being like, okay, well, Godzilla's such a giant ass fucking monster, he just beats Kong, which he did technically, but they used things that Kong would have used to his advantage. His agility. Godzilla's not climbing no fucking buildings, and he's not super fast like Kong is, but he's not slow either. And he doesn't have the same reach. I don't know if you noticed, but like Godzilla would go to like in the fight swipe, but Kong's arm and fist would connect first because he had long fucking arms.
4.2 magnitude earthquake punches. That wasn't enough.
The only
though.
time that I know they said that he's like, well, his punches are like a 4.2 magnitude earthquake. The only time I actually kind of felt that is when he went like up top and did like an overhead with both hands. That it was like, other than that, it didn't really feel like those were like.
Well, maybe that's just because Godzilla's just a beefy, like lower body.
That is true. He's very beefy.
Like even like he gets hit by multiple like punches like that, but he's got. He's got some cake right there. He's got a lot of lower
got them
body.
thick thighs.
Like it's gonna be hard to get him off, push him off his feet.
I hope they continue. I'm actually really, I don't know. I really would like to see more movies, at least 3 more. I know a lot of people want a Kong 2, The Hollow Earth. Another Godzilla film would be nice, and then another big Destroy All Monsters would be good. Because most of the different eras of Godzilla have had at least 6-7 movies. I would like a couple more.
I really would like, just like for their like final whatever they're gonna do. I would really love Destroya.
He's got to.
And Destroya and Godzilla both have to die. I think.
If they do that, they have to bring in Junior. I really would love to see Junior again.
Yeah.
But like a realistic, not.
I don't think they can go the burning route for Destroya because they already did it.
They already did burning.
So
I would love for them to bring back the other monsters though.
I don't know how he'd die because I can't imagine. Oh, like they just bite each other to death or something. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I can see him getting stabbed through the abdomen by Destroya's tail or his horn. They do need to do Destroya.
Or he just dies from injuries, I guess.
I've seen people on Twitter being like, all right, they need to bring in Godzilla Jr., have him be killed by Destroya, and then have Kong raise Godzilla Jr. But like, no, why would he do that? That's weird.
That is weird.
Like, it's too...
That's too human-like.
Yeah.
They're animals.
Well, he is a monkey, but would a monkey...
Well, I guess there've been cases where they kind of adopt like other stuff.
But they're the same species, not a different species.
That Coco the gorilla had cats.
I guess.
That she killed.
Well, didn't she only kill one by accident? She hugged it too hard.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was a big. That
was a really weird.
But I was just trying to.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I know a lot of people want like a Mothra solo movie or a Rodan. I don't think they could carry anything by themselves.
Yeah.
At least, I mean, I would watch them, but I don't think because again, these are big budget movies and you need to make your money.
For more than just the hardcore fans.
Yeah, it's a general audience you need. And a lot of people are saying, because today they made over $401 million, Godzilla vs. Kong. Could you imagine if there was no pandemic? A lot of people think they would have made way more fucking money.
I disagree.
You
think it would have been the same as 2014 and King of the Monsters? I think just because of this, I think this pandemic is the only reason that their sales went up high because people are like missing like that whole movie type thing, and like I think this is like the perfect movie to be like, oh, it's a movie. Like I want to watch a movie and like, oh, like cool big monster fight. Like that's like it's a good way to spend your time. And
I would disagree because both 2014 and Skull Island made over $550 million.
And what did this make?
It just reached I think today or yesterday 401 million.
401.
Mm-hmm.
And you said Kong made 500.
550, both of 2014 and Kong made about 550 million.
Okay, I thought you said Billy for a second. I was like, wait.
No, yeah, okay, I was a little wrong. 2014 was 530 million.
I wasn't saying that in a bad way either. I just think like because like of all this, people were like they just wanted something to feel like kind of back to normal again.
And yeah, Skull Island won 560 million.
Okay, so Godzilla versus Kong is almost there.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I think it would have made more.
Okay, that makes sense. Then I guess you're right.
I feel like it's because of the pandemic that it's. Well, then again, we're not factoring in the people because apparently, all they've said is they had a huge surge of subscribers for HBO Max because of Godzilla vs Kong. So you have to factor in the money they made from that.
Yeah.
And then they still haven't opened in over 30 markets. They're supposed to come out next month in the UK, Europe, Brazil, and some other. They said over 30 markets. Still haven't had the movie. If they haven't pirated it already, I hope not. So I'm hoping we get more MonsterVerse shit. I really would.
Yeah. As far as let's divert from movies. I feel like we've been talking about that for about 40 minutes. Only two too. So
yeah, we only talking. Well, they're both
they
good.
were good.
Yeah, interesting things to talk about.
Yeah. Anime. What have you been watching?
Well, we're gonna go back to what we just. I'm watching Godzilla sing.
Oh, Chinga.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just watching that. The new episode came out yesterday.
Yeah. Also, I saw you were actually watching Yashahime.
I finished it.
You finished it, yeah. How is it? Like, how's the series? Does it live up to Inuyasha's?
For me, no and yes, because certain things are so weird, and then like I feel like certain things are like they were established in the original series, like rules and things. Or,
like Ren and Sesshomaru, I think that was really, really bad.
Yeah, and most people consider them more of like a father and daughter than a and then all this.
It was just kind of heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking to kind of see that they went that way with it.
Yeah, but sort of in like my mind, it's not connected to the original series in a way. Like it's its own thing, like a what if or something.
Yeah,
and because the original mangaka lady who wrote or drew Inuyasha had no other than character design, had nothing to do story wise with this.
Yeah.
So I treat it like it's its own separate thing, like a what if this thing happened instead.
Yeah. Because I think she stopped to that point where with the tree or whatever. For the flood in Japan for the fundraiser, right?
Oh yeah, she did an extra chapter.
Yeah.
That takes place like 6 months after the ending of the original series.
Yeah.
And the extra chapter is actually the first episode of Yashahime. And as you can see, there's nothing like it doesn't set up anything. I think they just needed an extra episode. I don't know. Which it was good to see like all the original characters back. And they still show up. Like I know towards the end they showed Totosai, the blacksmith from the series.
They actually brought him back.
Yeah, and on his little fucking ox, and he's like, oh,
yeah.
I liked it.
Cool?
Yeah, I was super nostalgic over it.
Miyogi too.
Myoga, the flea demon. He's still a fucking coward.
Yeah. Honestly, I really wish I think they would have made this one better is if they brought Shippo. I think he, like an older version of him, could have carried like as a mentor maybe for the kids. Like would have been great.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know.
I just saw it cause I just thought about it. Like,
it's weird that he isn't there, but it's also I don't know. I don't feel like I don't know how he would fit in the story.
Forgot about him.
I feel like they kind of did.
Yeah.
I mean, this sucks too. He was really cool.
I feel like the other girl kind of reminds me of.
Well, I keep in my mind. I think they're gonna do a revelation where the Jubei, the bounty hunter guy, the old guy that she works for, is actually Shippo. Because I don't know if you noticed, at least from what I watched, they never show him from the back, and he always like stands against like because Shippo's tail always doesn't.
Yeah, it kind of protrudes out.
Yeah, and it doesn't even when he transforms, it doesn't disappear.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they're gonna reveal, in my mind at least.
Hmm.
And to my knowledge, he does it. He never turns around. He's always against the wall.
But I just feel like he'd be great for a mentor setting because in Inuyasha, he's a kid and he's learning.
I really liked Jockin. I don't know why Jockin's not that important of a character, but I was cool that he was back.
Sesshomaru.
Sesshomaru was cool.
He is cool.
Um,
I don't know anything about the villains too much about that guy.
I think they mentioned the original villain from Inuyasha. And so I think I mentioned a couple of them, actually, one or two.
Like Naraku?
They did mention Naraku, I think, and the well demon, the centipede lady. I think they mentioned her. They didn't really mention anybody else.
No, but I'm talking about the one in the Yashihime, that guy. Just wanted to kill the...
Oh, he's the great... I want to say... I honestly forgot, or I didn't pay attention to it, but I want to say he's like the great cat demon.
Yeah.
Who's like equal in... Or he's a demon, but he's equal... I want to say he's actually a dragon. But he's equal in... He was equal in strength to...
Inuyasha's dad, right?
Inuyasha and Sesshomaru's dad.
Hmm.
Since they were equal and that they wouldn't go anywhere, they decided not to fight. But here's the thing that kind of confuses me. Sesshomaru ends up becoming stronger than his dad. But apparently he said that they're like, no, Sesshomaru is equal with his dad. Or equal with...
it came out of his dad's mouth. Or, not his dad, but, wasn't it,
he ended up becoming stronger than his dad.
Somebody said that. Like, now you can progress past his father. Like, it was something like that.
Because he was holding on to this idea. Yeah. But yeah, no, and then in this one they said that no, he's equal to the same guy. But that doesn't make sense.
They really should have just followed the show a little better. Because, like, it's just fucking up with those people who fell in love with the first one.
Yeah, there's some parts I'm like, but I still enjoy it. I love the characters of like Moroha is exactly like Inuyasha.
She's got it down.
And I love that.
The actress.
Like it's believable that she's like his daughter. That is his fucking daughter. Like, and I can't remember her name right now because I'm drawing a blank. But the younger sister,
Setsuna, and
it's Setsuna. She's the one that is exactly.
She's Sesshomaru.
She's all Sesshomaru.
I guess the other girl, more...
Probably more like Ren.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name right now.
Yeah. Toa,
there it is.
Toa.
But yeah, I like the characters. I know some people are like, why is it all girls? But it's like, yes, it's an action anime.
I was against that, or I was kind of upset about that at first, but then I just thought, like, we are getting boy versions, like, it's just them again, you know what I mean? Like if we got a boy Inuyasha.
And if we're being honest...
Or a son.
It's always been sort of from the female perspective, because... Kagome was the main character of Inuyasha. Yes, the show was called Inuyasha.
Some people kind of forget that.
Yeah, some people do. The show was called Inuyasha, but he was not... Well, he was one of them.
I thought it was more but just about the area.
Yeah.
Not exactly the demon.
Yeah. Like, Kagome was the main character. So was Inuyasha, but I feel like she was... Because you're the one seeing... Yeah. She was the main character, so it's not like it was anything new. It was just weird seeing three all together, though.
Mm.
I like all three of their characters, though. They're really cool. Season 2 got announced.
Mm-hmm.
I have not started Beastar Season 2. Or I have, but I haven't finished it. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't. I want to.
I just can't get into it for some reason.
I think it's just because you read it.
Yeah, I read the whole manga.
I read it too, but I still kind of want to see it.
I do too. I just can't. I don't know. I'm watching the Godzilla anime, so I just can't.
I haven't really watched nothing new. I've been reading manga. I read
a lot of manga.
The last thing I finished was... I caught up to Vinland Saga a little while ago. I've been writing that show for a bit. You're probably annoyed. I think it's a really good show.
I'm tired of JoJo too.
Really good show, and people need to watch it.
How is
Season 2 is going to come out soon. It's good. The last chapter came out probably about 3 4 months. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's been a minute since that last chapter came out, but they're still on that fairy island, and they're kind of exploring the lore of the Berserker armor and the Skull Knight. And he was in the last. So we found out or at least I saw that in this latest chapter. We found out that the God Hand that fucked up Berserk or Guts' life or family.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't the same God Hand, but the one guy. His name is what was his name? But basically, only one God Hand was around for that last sacrifice. The other, it's like it's basically a completely new set, but one. And then the Skull Knight, I think he was like the king of like those fairy people, and like because we saw it through a vision of like Skull Knight, we assume it's Skull Knight when he was wearing the Berserker armor. And
so he's an elf then, or a human?
A fairy, I think, technically.
How the fuck is he so big?
Yeah.
Because to my knowledge, you said Puck, or was his name Puck, right?
Puck, and there
is a fairy, and he's like itty bitty.
Because like when he saw the Skull Knight and Puck was like, I sense that he's the same as me. Like I feel it.
Yeah, but like he's like 2 inches tall, and the Skull Knight's like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
So something ain't right.
Yeah, so I think that he basically is the same situation. Like that Skull Knight lost his beloved, and there's already like a princess of those fairy ladies, of the fairy people, and I believe that is the daughter, Skull Knight's daughter, because there's a panel where like the Skull Knight and that girl are looking at each other. And like at first I thought, I was like, oh, is that the girl? And I'm like, no, it can't be. I kind of figure it's. So we're learning more about the lore.
The chapters are still taking forever to come out, though.
Yes, I literally think it's like half a year, basically.
I've heard that from what the guy has said, it's winding down now. He's getting ready to wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. Which is I'm kind of anxious about it because.
You think it's gonna get a good ending or a bad one? A lot of people are saying it's gonna end a good ending because it had such a.
It's got to.
Yeah.
I feel like, I want it to, but I mean I don't know, man. This dude's wrote some shit, and
from what I've noticed, it's all in the beginning, like to set it up. A lot of people are saying.
Well, no, there's some shit in the middle.
Yeah, there is.
Or I mean, spread out.
It's mostly from what I've seen on like Twitter and like what you tell me. Mostly, I don't really read Berserk.
I really am just anxious because there's so much hype around this anime and this manga.
Are they ever gonna do another anime? I feel like they should. It's because Berserk's really popular right now.
I think the second season for it was the 2017. That I don't really think they had enough chapters to continue another part.
Mm-hmm.
So
I just pop my head.
We'll see. But fuck, I don't know. Like there's a lot of hype behind this, and I don't think it's gonna live up to people's hopes. That's the kind of like. I guess kind of like people looking forward to like a new Metallica album or something like that. Because there's already so much behind the behind it. There's stuff like that, and I don't know. I don't even know what I'd do if it ends. I feel I'm really lost. I can't
start over.
I don't want to think about it. I don't want it to.
That means you were just really invested.
Yeah,
because there are games where I'm.
I'd say that about other stuff, but I think I really feel that with this. Now that I actually think about it,
because I've played games and stuff where I'm like Fallout New Vegas. Well, I'm kind of over that now because I've replayed it so many times and I can still do that. But I remember the first time I played it for hundreds of hours, and I had like one last quest. I think it's for the Republic or something, like the last quest you can do. And I was gonna walk to it, and all of a sudden I got like in my stomach, just sort of like depressed. Like I don't want it to end because
I say that about like other stuff, movies, shows, video games. I say that, and like, but like this show, like this whole like story, I really feel it. Like I really feel this like deep in me.
Yeah, I can understand that, but I've like The Witcher 3 is another one where I'm like, I got one last quest. I've done everything.
I'm a very like,
but I don't know. I get super depressed because I don't want it to end, and I try to scrape anything. I'm like, oh, I could probably go do this before I do this last.
That's what's great about a video game is because you can prolong it to an extent.
But it's because I guess for me personally, it's almost like these characters, this world, this story. It almost sort of dies when you don't play it.
Yeah,
I don't want them to die because I love this game and.
I feel that because like that moment you literally take out that disc or you just stop.
But I felt that with books before too and stuff. Like these two back there that I got, because I read all fucking 8 books, and then it's like, well, fuck, I don't want it to end.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's you just something you have to learn how to deal with, and like you don't want to. Like these are there's you're kind of along with these characters, or like you've played as them. You've seen like from their perspective. You watched it, and like it's like you're almost there with it, experiencing it firsthand, and like it's like almost like you created you had those memories with these people or whatever.
Yeah. I don't really watch a lot of anime anymore, mostly because when you first get into anime, you kind of want to get a feel for it, and I find a lot of people get into this realm of where like I'm gonna watch anything and everything, even if it's garbage anime, and they will literally watch and watch and watch.
I think that was how I actually got into it. I fell in love with garbage anime.
But then like how I just told you, I'm only watching 2 anime, or was watching 2 animes. That's it, 2 or 3 animes.
My middle school time was terrible because I was literally spending my days on my phone just watching, or on my Xbox just watching.
But I feel like
animes.
everybody does that before they kind of snap out of it, and they're like, "This is garbage. This isn't good."
Or it's like also it's like for me it was like this new stuff that I was watching. I was like, it's not the same. It's not good.
Yeah.
Or like it's predictable because I've seen it in this or in that.
Oh yeah, the same tropes.
Yeah.
Then you start getting into like, well, I like this,
Like
and this.
the big following. Like I know a lot of people like Ray Zero. I liked it too. The first season I thought was good.
I've never watched it.
But the tropes and all, like it's like I've seen this, I've seen that. It's all repetitive, and it's like, well, fuck. Like there's not really any, stuff surprising.
But I feel like it's a good thing because then you get into the part where it's like, okay, so I like this, and this, and you start watching less, but you also watch ones that are actually, at least
more,
to you, a lot
yeah.
better. I don't want to say they're better, but because everybody has their own taste. But you start watching
more quality than quantity.
Yeah, and you start watching things that you actually like.
Yeah, I feel like I've noticed I've delved, like I really enjoy the seinen categories, which is like those darker adult. Mature shows.
I don't know. I don't like it when it's just dark to be dark and depressing and shit.
I don't like it specifically for that, but like I noticed that like that's just where my taste.
I'm just saying when it seems to me like sometimes I feel like certain shows, instead of the story being
like that one I showed you where the dude like murdered the family.
Yeah.
That was just kind of, it felt that like, is that how you said dark, just or gore for gore? Dark.
Do you know Glipnir?
Glipnir, yeah.
I read the manga to that.
That was good
it was starting to get interesting, but then it got like dark and depressing for no other
reason.
Yeah, and it was just back to back, and it almost seemed like shock value, at least to me personally.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't watch this. It's too.
I did. It was.
I read the manga first, but
even
the manga.
I liked up until like the part where they met like some crazy kid like in the woods, or it was like a group of people that they met.
Yeah, they met another.
I
group
think the leader was like a crazy kid.
Yeah, because they're on the mountain trying to find the spaceship. And the spaceship and stuff.
I read up until they introduced a guy that already found 100 coins. So,
because I know that they're from. I read up all the way because they don't really join those people. They're just using them. They end up actually joining a big ass dude. He's like huge and he has fucking sword arms.
But they kick his ass.
Well, they don't kick his ass. Is that he doesn't want to hurt the girl.
Oh.
And he realizes that this dude would kill himself for this girl. He's like, oh, you're a real gentleman. A man's man. Despite the dude literally being 5 feet and he's like 6'11". He's like big.
6'11". He could probably destroy.
He's like, you're a real man's man. I'll go with you.
He doesn't join him. He just like respects him. Because I remember them asking him, like they ask him like, hey, can you like come with us right here? He's like, no, I don't want to fight these guys. I respect you guys, but I don't want to do that. No,
because he joins them, but they come up with the idea that, well, he's gonna stay back and do his own thing while they infiltrate that new group they found. And if they need him as backup,
the new group was kind of weird too. Like
I don't like him. They're just kind of cunts.
Yeah, like the dude that takes pictures.
Yeah,
like he's obviously he's a
huge.
He fits his yeah.
I don't know. I couldn't get into it. It was weird.
And the deer girl, I think, was what she was.
Yeah, she was weird.
I thought she was like the most normal one, but then like you find out how crazy she actually, or like weird she actually is.
Yeah, I don't know. I just can't watch it like I used to.
Yeah, I've noticed like I think seinen is honestly my genre
I don't mind shonen, but sometimes shonen can get too.
because I've noticed like my
Dumb.
two favorite right now. Well, my two favorite that I've decided are my top two is Berserk and Vinland Saga, and like I like the themes like they deal with like stuff that like a lot of I guess people don't want to talk about. They they deem it too uncomfortable, and I think it's interesting because like it's basically just like the author's perspective on the topics, and I think I think it's just really nice and it's different. Like it's uh yeah, it's just different. Like I think Vinland Saga, I think I like a little more specifically for the topics because it talks about like the afterlife and like the purpose of one's life and dealing with certain emotions and such like that. Like this guy lost his father, like he was murdered unjustly,
Mm.
and he dedicated his entire early adulthood to killing the man who murdered his father. And the man, he didn't get to kill him, but the man died, and he basically felt he realized that he actually didn't hate the man, so he just felt like because like the whole next couple of chapters after that, like where the anime ends, he winds up as a slave on a farm, and he's literally just a shell, and like that whole arc is him literally trying to find like out like the meaning to his life because he had spent like his early years just focused on like killing one man and nothing else. He left his family just to pursue this man.
Yeah.
Like he hasn't seen his sister and his mother like since he was like 8, and he's already like 20. And that like he literally like is just a shell. Like it's just crazy to see, and like just the stuff that those stories build. I think they do like a really great job in talking about these topics. I think it's just really neat.
Mm. It looked interesting. It just wasn't for me, personally.
I think it's great. I think those two are really great. Those are my
Mhm.
top two.
I've been really getting into comic. Well, I've always read comic books
Yeah.
because I use the Marvel app and I had the
Or Takeyomi has like the American comics too.
yeah, but it's harder to like put them in order, and
Yeah.
so I just use the Marvel app, and I think DC has an app, but I haven't started reading DC yet. I've read a couple
I haven't-
before.
I don't know. I don't really read. I read Marvel for sure, but not DC. I should though, because I think I find myself liking DC more than Marvel.
I like Marvel, but it's very yeah, they're very hit or miss because some like I love the Immortal Hulk comics and the comics
World
with
War Hulk was good.
Secret Empire. I loved a
Mhm.
lot with Hydra, Captain America, and shit.
Yeah.
Like I love
Civil
that.
War.
Civil War was
storyline
pretty
is
good.
Classic.
I don't know.
I actually like Civil War 2 versus more than
really.
1.
I was about to say I was kind of iffy on Civil War 1 more than 2.
Yeah. I think 2's good.
I don't know, to me, 2 is just not as good to me. I don't know. I love Amadeus Cho, the new Hulk. Oh, he's not the new Hulk. He's another Hulk. Amadeus Cho is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I want them to bring him into the live action movies. Amadeus Cho would be badass.
His mother.
Plus, because him and Bruce Banner have a sort of a kind of like nephew-uncle relationship.
Yeah.
Because they're both Hulks, obviously. And I don't know, it's kind of cool.
They both deal like they're basically the only ones that know about what they're dealing with.
Yeah. DC, I want to start getting. I've been reading a lot of the Aliens and Predator comic books.
That's
I think
DC, right? Isn't it?
Dark Horse.
Oh, Dark Horse.
Dark Horse comics.
Dark Horse.
And they're really good. I like them a lot. The one I recently bought was about Predator hunting a engineer, the big
I
white
saw
dudes
that
from
one.
Prometheus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh shit. To me, in my mind, I'm like, god damn, it's gonna be like Godzilla versus Kong, but with a Predator and an engineer. And
Man,
nah,
you're gonna wipe the floor.
yeah, it was like fucking Kong versus a fucking lion. It was just completely fucked him up. I was like, damn, he's supposed to be fucking, because Predator's a fucking predator.
These
But
guys are scary, but like those guys are scary.
it literally was fucking like the Hulk and Loki scene from Avengers.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. It was a good comic though. I liked it. was
He
really
had to
cool.
team up with that human dude.
I cannot for the life of me remember that dude's name or why they were connected. Because
I think that engineer picked him up.
no,
Or-
I think the Predator needed him for something. I can't remember. I'll have to reread it later. It was good though. I've been really getting into comic books. Comic books are really good.
Yeah.
Because before I would read them like occasionally, casually.
I do want to read the DC though, because I find myself actually liking like DC a little more than Marvel.
Mm-hmm. I want to get into DC too. I want to start buying more because I know we always do this but that's I'm really a big fan of is Godzilla. The Godzilla comic books are really fucking good.
I like that one talking about that Dagon one.
Oh, that was for the Monsterverse, yeah. Because I don't think people realize, but there was more to his species, like a ton of them.
Mm.
And like I feel like those would be cool stories to find out.
Yeah.
And I like that they all have their own names. Like for Godzilla, his species is Titanus Gojira, but his name is Godzilla. That's his name. And I like that the other one they showed was Titanus Gojira, but his name was Dagon, and that he was worshipped as a god of thunder because of his voice.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool. But yeah, those comic books are really good. Like, not even just the Dark Horse Godzilla comics are really good. I mean, not Dark Horse. I think it's IMD Comics. I can't remember.
I don't know.
IDW Comics. They're really good. I literally have what are they called? Godzilla Ruler of Earth. That comic. Both of those are really good. I really wish you would read them because I enjoy them. They're really good to me. But I will say I've noticed the only thing I didn't like was the weak ending because I feel like some people rely on the whole burning Godzilla thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's all right for Godzilla to lose. Because their creatures more powerful than Godzilla. Destroyer one of them, Ghidorah one of them, and there's a couple of them, Monster X. But no, yeah, the comics for that you should check out.
And there's our Doug.
That's
That's actually perfect because we're already at an hour 6.
Yeah, I was about to say let's wind it
You
up.
came in on cue.
All right, we'll give them some
All right,
food.
boys. Thank you for listening.
This has been the Nightbread Podcast.
You know, it's been fun. Episode 2.
Months later, let's try to do the third one sooner.
We're not gonna take these long breaks.
It was just
we're really looking forward to dishing these episodes out.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try our best
and maybe try streaming. I don't know because we both have Twitches.
We'll take a look at streaming.
Yeah, streaming would be cool.
So yeah, thank you guys for listening.
All right,
y'all have a good one.